Good morning, hello. Happy Thursday today. Sorry I couldn't make the stream yesterday, but I had that eye appointment I had to go to. Let's see. Raven Legend, hello, good morning, and also SS Video Game Developer. I'm gonna call you video game developer. But hello, everybody, welcome. Good morning. Yeah, so yesterday or I guess it was 2 days ago, it sort of like came, I realized that I've been having this like bothering me in my eye for like a while, for a couple months, and that probably wasn't a really good thing to sort of like leave around for like, you know, that long. And so made a optometrist appointment like right away, and because it's COVID time, there's always availability, so they just brought me in the next day, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was able to go and take a look at them. Apparently, my eyes, or at least one of my eyes, is having an allergic reaction, um, which is kind of strange, but like I guess also maybe all the fun stuff happening in the world right now is causing that. I haven't had like very many allergies before, so this might be a new one for me. Hello. Let's see. So the the other thing that's been going on, let's see. Uh, I had a chance. I asked this question in Discord, but I had a good chance to also call my parents and talk to my mother, because obviously, if this entire project is going to be a gift from my father, I wanted to, speak to her. She's the closest one to him. She was able to give me the best advice for what direction to go with the project. So um, given the choices of a WebAssembly based, I mean, obviously she wouldn't care that it's WebAssembly, but basically the game delivered over a web page that would allow him to play it on his phone or the computer, or me creating a little device that you could plug into the TV along with a controller, basically a homemade console, um, with just that one game on it. She suggested that that one console would probably be the best way to go, and so I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pivot to that. So what that means, um, we're gonna use a Raspberry Pi, and I think you can get a Raspberry Pi and a case for it. It has HDMI ports in it. It has USB ports in it, so I'll be able to do all the things that I need to. So I'll need to buy a Raspberry Pi, a case, a power supply, because usually I think, don't they usually try to like power through USB? I can't remember anymore. It's been forever since I've even owned one. I don't even I don't even know if I've are they still Raspberry Pi 4s, or is now they're like 5s? Um, and let's see. Oh, a controller, and I'll have to test it out. And I found out from them that the TV they have is a like 55-inch um, non 4K display. So it's a 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080 resolution. So that means I can set it to full screen at 1920 by 1080, and perfect. Like, don't need to like really worry about any other resolutions to support. So it's actually gonna end up being easier to like plan, but at the same time it's harder because now there's a hardware component. That being said, I was googling around, and there are some apparently like bootloaders that you can set up uh, on Raspberry Pi that will essentially just start the app. Raven Legend, you had the same thing happen with your right eye last year. Your whole eye was so red. Oh wow, you so like just one eye was red. So my eye isn't getting red, which like the the doctor was like a little bit confused by. He thought that like it should like I should be getting that, but what I was getting was this weird thick mucus. It wasn't covering the entire eye, but just like a little portion of it. And so I thought it was like staying around and I couldn't get it out. And he was telling me that no, it was going away and then coming back every time I had the allergic reaction. Um, so it's apparently there's different ways that our eyes can like have allergic reactions, which I think is wild. All right. Zilby wants to go outside, so I'm going to let him. So you're allergic to the cat? Does that mean he's going to bye bye? Oh man, if I'm allergic to the cat, that does not mean the cat is going bye bye. No, if I'm allergic to the cat, that means I'm gonna get allergy drops for the eyes or whatever, so that way I can continue hanging out with the cat. The cat is not going bye bye, no matter what. Also, good morning, stacking. Yeah, that's not even on the table. We love the cat too much. The cat's here to stay. Okay, so what are we doing? We're opening you up. So I went ahead and now all the previous code that I have is still up on GitHub. So if you want to like take a look at the start that I had with the WebAssembly stuff, it's all in the previous commits. So you can go like take a look through that code if you want to. It's also something I might choose to go back to and look at. I still want to look at WebAssembly, so that's probably going to be a future, probably any kind of web app um, project I'm going to do from now on is probably going to have some kind of WebAssembly, at least if it's one of these projects. For work, probably not. Stacking, when your wife and you got first cat, she woke up the next morning with an eye bigger than your fist. Oh man. And I was like, there goes the cat. Oh, that's terrible. I've had an hair, like a hair in my eye. Like sort of like almost go behind my eye and I had to like pull it out. That sucked. But yeah, the my wife has not had an allergic reaction to the cat. So that's like therefore it's just me on the decider for that. And yeah, it's not on the table. All right. Also, it's such a minor allergic reaction. Okay, so what was I doing? We were starting to set this up again. So I needed to recreate. So I need a new main.rs, and then we're gonna set up gmain, and we're gonna use this as our well, we're gonna go back to like a GGEZ setup for this. So calling this jungle, I think. It's gonna be jungle. We need you to reset to Brooks builds. Something like that. Said plays nicer. I don't know. It's gonna store all the local stuff in like a certain area. She just had a cat hair in the eye. Luckily, her first job was working for an eye doctor, so they did an emergency house visit and took care of it. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, it's interesting. The best way to get medical care here, at least where I am, is be really rich or work for a medical like work for a doctor. Because then you can get that kind of stuff all the time. But yeah, that's awesome that that was able to take care of it. I have not had that from Zilby yet. I've had a dog hair in my eye, and it didn't cause my eye to puff up. It just bothered me. It's like, yeah, that part sucked. Okay, so we have you set up for this. For our library, we want to reset you. That's going to be glib. Right. And then we want, we're going to want this to be a full screen 1920 by 1080. So I'm thinking, we also like remember from the last time that we were building the game is we really want to have some kind of like JSON controller object that we can use to like set all of these things up. Now, I remember that somebody was creating a Rust object notation. I wanted to take a really quick look at that, see if that's viable for us. Is that something that's actually usable? Let's go to lib.rs. So is there Ron? So there's Rusty object notation. It's getting okay traction. Okay, so their example is for a game, which sounds about right. So a map to a struct. So like you have a scene struct. That. Basically, it's all going to be like config stuff. I love the negative about Tomo's alien syntax. I kind of agree with that. How to see how this is much better than JSON at this point. It does feel a little bit like I would need to learn a completely new syntax for it. The big problem to me is this is now not testable independently. Like I can't basically. I doubt that there's going to be some kind of like JSON validator out there. Oh, sorry, a RON validator out there. But there's going to be JSON validators like everywhere. Also, it's like super young. Maybe if it got to like 1.0, I would consider using it. But yeah, I think JSON is probably the best way to go. So if I were to create inside of Jungle a new file, Arson is like RON in good. Wait, is there an Arson too? That doesn't even make sense. Which one? Also, good morning, Lord Mist. Oh, he linked. Okay, Arson RS. That's this one. I missed the link for some reason. I guess it was because it was on the first line of my my chat. All right. Examples in JSON. Example in Arson. Yeah, I think I guess like this is like maybe if I wanted to go like directly into certain structs without ever like doing any kind of my own validation on it in the code, or yeah, I think this is something like what I'll do is I'll put a note in to play with it. So like check out Arson RS, but I don't think I'm necessarily going to use it in this project. Um, so let's new file. This is going to be our config.json. So what we're going to be able to do here is say things like, okay, what is like the game resolution? So if we want resolution is going to be I don't know if I want like resolution or just like game section. Let's do like resolution. I don't know if I like really need this to be like flat or not also. So let's just do this resolution X. You're going to be 1920. Resolution Y. You're going to be 1080. Okay, so if I save you, then the idea is that I want to pull this in and use JSON to extract that out. So I'm going to need probably like a main library here that will extract out. It won't be game state. Probably want like a new file for this. That's going to be like extract, like load, maybe like the load config. Load big.rs. So then Serde JSON that we need. So I think we need like Serde and Serde JSON. This also means we need like the config. So is it? We're gonna have a pub struct config. And this is where we're gonna do something like we're gonna have resolution. Resolution X. That's going to be a F32. Resolution Y is F32. And then we're going to, let's go find Serde. You don't think it was a float in your JSON, just so you know? Doesn't matter. I think I've gone back both ways, right? Like it'll come out as just .0, but I could also be very explicit with it. Serde JSON. Yeah, I like this like a lot more. It's being used a lot more often. It's it's a 1.0 release. That is really nice. So So I can do this as a typed example. So we're going to have this struct person. So we're going to need both Serde and Serde JSON. Let's go ahead and add those in. Okay. Cargo add Serde JSON. Is it dash? It's underscore. So that brings those in properly. So we're going to have you. So this, we're going to load this from a file. This is going to be our JSON. We're going to parse it from a string. And then we want to turn it into a person. Okay. Seems easy enough. So we're going to want to derive, serialize, and deserialize. Oh, doesn't know how to like bring that in. Okay. Use. What is it? It's just Serde. Yeah. Serde. Serialize. Serialize. Shouldn't you find that? Rust Analyzer still has major bugs around macros. They're getting better, but yeah, I agree. All right, so you're restart. No? Okay. Restart. Serialize. Deserialize. Okay. Cannot find it in the scope. You're right there. Did I like misspell it terribly? Oh, I need to add the feature. Keep on forgetting that I need to add the feature. Like I wish that was automatic add in. Also, good morning, Utsby. So let's go ahead and add this. That's part of Serde. So this version equals that. Features equals. I think that's an array of serialize, deserialize. That. No. Features equals derive. Oh. Derive. Probably not double quote. Probably double quotes too. Not happy with that either. What did I do wrong? Oh, curly brace. Oh, this one's curly braces, and not There we go. That's happy. Okay, thank you, Utsby. Curly braces here. There we go. Fun, fun. Let's go ahead. Update you. So this is going to be in Rust. We want, I guess not less like tools and more of libraries. This is going to be Serde JSON. So in the cargo.toml file, of all things in the world, not sure why the Rust team had to pick toml. I know. Like even YAML would be better. And I have like a mixed feelings about YAML too. Okay, so that should give us this serialize and deserialize. So then what's next? Now we're going to we have to load this from I constantly have problems with toml that I don't have with any of the others. But I think like we're in that XKCD comic where it's just like another standard problem. Like I sort of feel like, okay, at this point in time, maybe we should like pare down on the standards. We don't need this many like config style like files. YAML is a mess. It's horrible. It's quite literally as horrible as Python. Well, that's the problem. I like Python too. Let's make a new standard and all standards. Standard count +1. Okay, so what was I doing? We now need to extract out and like grab this grab the file from, okay, so we probably want to do that in main. So inside of here, maybe before we like create the context for this, we need to get the file from the disk. So we're gonna do a let. I think we have to read it into a string. So this is gonna be our config. So you're gonna have to be mute equals string new. Then we want to, is it file? Let's see. So then I think this this loads up the file. Lord Mist, you tried a new font. You like it. It's called Yusefka. I don't know how to pronounce. Is that Russian? Yeah, I'll check it out. Do you have a link to it? I'll probably check it out like off stream. Or maybe on my work computer. Let's see. File, so you're gonna be load just config JSON. So if I do that, ooh, type, okay, so open your new tab there. Oh, cool. I will check that out later. Thank you, Lord Miz. Where was I? Right here. Let's go ahead and debug. Oh wait, I need to let this. Oh, so I can do this right here. Let's file that. So debug now config. And let's see what we end up getting here. So you're upset already. Oh, file takes no arguments. This is not the right one. It's I know there is a file. Is there like a load file? I guess it's just creating a new expands to file name in which it was invoked. Oh, that would be like main.rs then. That's not what I want then. No. Okay, so then we want I forgot how to like load. We need IO file. So we need to like open up file, import. There's the entire GGEZ file system file. Don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, I think I want to do the standard OS or maybe FS file. And then here we can do open, attempts to open a file in read-only mode. That's fine. And then the path. And so this one I want to be config.json. Peyton Rules as raiding with a party of 3. Welcome, 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 Peyton Rules and raiders. How are you all doing today? How was your stream? Before we move on to oh no, that's the wrong one. I want you. Before we move on to like continue on with our coding, not bad. This to-do list is getting close to wrapping up, and that's the to-do list that's in iOS, right? Is that an iOS to-do list? Yep. All right. Yeah. That it sounds like a lot of fun. 80% done, 80% of the way to go. That just feels that way all the time. Also, why aren't you doing this in your load config file and just returning instruct? That's probably a good idea. We should probably like turn config. Oh, I should turn it into a maybe like a struct with some impls. Yeah, I think I should do that. I think that's a good idea. That being said, I want to open up document because we got a raid. I'm trying to set up that when we do a raid, when we get a raid, we're gonna play the get the streamer game. Sort of like a welcome for everyone. So we're gonna do streamer, code, builds, workspace, streamer, cargo, run, release mode. So for those of you who are new here, this Get the Streamer game we built on Stream Live, and it's a chat-based game where you're going to use these commands on the right to attack or help me. And then you'll get points that can actually be persistent across all of the streams. So. Yeah, I have it as like hack for all these commands so it doesn't get confused with the other bot, the chat bot that I have. Oh, you did a heart on most of the times I'm seeing hearts only when like random is being used. Oh, how did it not get hit during that time? Oh, okay. Finally got hit. I was wondering when that was gonna happen. Oh. Now it's just gonna go downhill. Oh, I didn't realize I was a snake at the first. Great job, everyone, and also SureShock55 for the lead on that. So that's like an example of some of the games that we've made on here, and I think that's like a fun one to do every time we stream. I'm getting better. Yeah, it's like practice with all of you real people. You know what I should do? I should create like a something on the taskbar that I can just like click and start the game, which would be a lot of fun. Maybe I'll do that later. Now back to this. What we're building for this is a gift for my father for Christmas. So I'm gonna be building him a Pitfall clone, and because of reasons, I can't deploy a binary to him on his computer, and so I'm gonna be essentially packaging up a Raspberry Pi, putting the game on that, and shipping that to him. So essentially, really a super basic console. So that's what we're building out today. We just started the project, and we're using GGEZ and Rust for this. So you were right. You're right. Definitely. We want to do all this stuff in here. And by here, I mean in the load config. And I'm thinking actually in load config, I probably want to change this around. So instead of like a load config, let's have a like config folder. And instead of that, we're going to have a mod.rs. So we're still going to open up, mod config here. And so here we're going to be able to do things like Blizzard made Pitfall? Wait, really? I didn't remember who made Pitfall. It was like in the 80s. I didn't even think Blizzard existed back then. Maybe the company that eventually became. Yeah, Activision. That sounds a lot more. Oh, because Activision purchased Blizzard. That's what it is. It was for the original Atari. And actually, Activision purchased Atari too, right? So it was actually Atari who made it. Neither. I think it was Atari. Like I think back when Atari was making hardware. Back when pretty much they were the only company making the hardware. Blizzard was around that time. That sounds like that was sounds like a long time. Like sounds too early for that. But I don't remember anymore. I did see a GDC talk about Pitfall, and that was like one of the reasons that like caused me to want to like do this, because I had forgotten about the game. And I played it when I was a kid, but it was the last game that my dad played that he really, really loved, and the last game that he could play before games got too complicated. All right, so for this mod, we want to have like a public function load. And I don't think we're gonna take anything in. We're gonna return a function. We're gonna turn like that. We're gonna return the entire struct that we create. But until then, like I'm gonna just start here. So we want to file open up the config file, and then I want to debug this. So we want you to import file, standard fs. You're going to be config file. Okay, so then load, I want, now we're mod config. Then straight on through to main, I want to use not just game state, but config. And then in here, we're going to do, would that be right? Or would it be like game state? Probably like here, config load. That. All right, so what are you upset about? Oh, module config is private. Means in here, public U. Unresolved import. Let's go ahead and try running you now. Let's see what happens. You thought Blizzard started around Atari. It must have been NES. Atari started so long ago. So Atari's history is like really interesting because they I don't remember what they did like originally, but they were behind almost all of like the super hit arcade systems before Nintendo. And then they started making home consoles when they started seeing the writing on the wall that was going to go away. And then they owned that market for a long time until like Sony took it away from them. Oh, pub mod. Probably the other way around. There he goes. Now I don't have any other errors. Okay, so here we go. And here's our file. So that's good. I then want to... if I wanted to like write some tests for this, because like, hey, who'd have thunk tests for this? That'd be great. Let's go ahead and for our mod here, create a config. I can never remember, is it test or tests? And then we'll do a pub. It's not pub. It's just a mod. Private mod for this, and then we can do our test. So this is a test function. So this is going to be feature, which is going to be the load config file. Okay, hash config test. So I almost got it right. It's this, missing that. There we go. Okay. So then in this load config file, I want to load up the config.json. So here is that config.json file right there. Now, how I want it to like actually load this up, I'll probably just like check the first line or like the first character or something like that. 'Cause what I really want to do is load this file. Maybe like load file. No, okay. Load file is going to return a config object, which we're going to want to create here. So pub struct config. And this is where we're going to put things like resolution. Resolution X. and that's going to be F32 resolution Y F32. And so then we're going to have to do our entire derive from this. Our test function here, we're going to expect. What are you still upset about? Config no bang. Okay, perfect. Expected a name. I guess I need test. Yep, because you're not actually returning the thing. That's fine for right this second. Inside of this function, we want to test loading the config. So if we call load, so if I do let config equals, we have to use super asterisk like that. So if we call load, we're going to get this config. Then I just want to like test that the resolution is like set to whatever I want it to be. So we're going to do insert equal config resolution x. That's going to be equal to 1920.0. Insert equal config resolution y is equal to 1080.0. Okay, so if I do that, then you need to like return this config. So if I start by just returning a config resolution x is 0.0, resolution y is 0.0. So if I just do this just to get ourselves to be able to write this test, now strict comparison of F32 or F64. Oh, this is Clippy. Interesting. Okay. Because you don't know what I mean by this? So, do I need to do this as like an F32? No? Okay, what error are you trying to tell me here? Deny Clippy float comparison on by default. F32 epsilon and F64 epsilon are available for the error. Huh. Derive equal partial equal? That, well, so I would think that I could like assert that two values are equal to each other, which is strange. Now, I suppose what I could do, we cannot, yeah, well, we could. I think this is not stopping me. This is just Clippy saying it doesn't like it. But maybe something we can do here is we'll derive partial equal, and then we can create let expected config equals config resolution x is 1920.0, resolution y is 1080.0. You can do x minus y is less than 0.01. It feels like kind of strange. But now I can do, okay, config. So instead of that, we're going to do config is equal to expected config. Oh, and it needs to implement debug too. Okay. Yeah, it likes this. So now I can do a cargo test. Yeah, and so now it's just saying, hey, the left of 0.0 is not the same as the right 0.0. I just hate that like force. It feels so, it's like it feels so forced, and it's not exactly what I want. So I may just have to do this. Technically it should be 0. Exactly. Okay, so if I do this now, what I want to make, I need to make this test pass. And so the easiest way we can do that now is in load. We now want to load up, like put this into a string. So we're gonna do let sort of like config string equals, it's gonna be config file dot, is it read to string? Oh, it's a result. So then I want, we can use error result. So we can pull in error. Let's do a cargo add error. So we'll use, this will be an error results, which will hold a config. And now from here, I can question mark this. Now we're going to get the file. So we can do config file dot. Does file not let me do that? I thought I could do like a read to string. Sure shock, you tried to post a link. What happened? Let me go take a look at that link. Huh. Wrestling.org apparently. Let me change that. So wrestling.org should probably be fine. Let me go ahead and remove that spam protection. Okay, wrestling.org is now allowed. So you can now post that link again, Sure shock, and it should be fine. Floating points are hard. Yeah, they are, and like there's a reason why floating points, like there's a reason why numbers in JavaScript suck so much. It's because they're by default floating point numbers, and you can't not use floating point numbers there. And the math between them is like interesting. That being said, 0.0 minus 0.0, like it should be the same if you like have the same numbers. But yeah, I can see why Clippy might not like that. I'm just not sure exactly how I would want to like compare that, because this comparison it's okay with. F1 minus F2 dot absolute epsilon is also bad because IEEE 754 has not a number and infinity. Oh yeah, IEEE number. All sorts of fun stuff. Okay, so I apparently forgot how to open up a file for reading. So file, let's write. We file open file dot read to string. Okay, so I was correct. There is a file dot read to string. So I should be able to do a read to string, and we're going to pass in the mutable reference to config file here, and then question mark that. Oh, this doesn't become an equal. We just do that. No method named. Oh, because I didn't have the trait brought in. So I need that. Okay. Mismatched types, expecting mutable reference. Found. Oh, I don't want the string. Yeah, this is let mute. So you don't need to be mutable, I don't think. You do. So this is gonna be. Hold on. Config string equals string new. Config string goes in here. That then reads that out, and so now I want to. I can like return this. It'll be super upset with me, but let's go ahead now and pull in Serde. Use Serde. Serialize, deserialize. Add those in here. And that means we can now do let config equals Serde JSON. I think it's from string. Wait, what's this? Construct a Serde JSON value. No, I don't think I want that. I think okay, I want from string. And this is going to be a reference to the config string. You're a result. And then we're going to return the config. And so that should give us the Serde JSON from reader config file. Oh, that would be really nice. You're upset now. The treat bound error port config deserialize is not satisfied. Required because the requirements can fall. Okay, so you return a result, but you don't implement the thing that I want you to, because it's result unknown. Oh, wait, do we have to do this? Config of type config equals. So now can I do that? Yes. Okay. So now you're upset. Mismatched types. This needs to be an okay. Okay, like that. Config file cannot borrow. Config file is mutable. Is not declared as mutable. Okay, so you'd be mutable also. Now in here we need to config file.load.unwrap. And that gives us our things. We do have an error still. Um, unable to resolve non-existing file mod.rs. What? You're you're right here. I see you right here. I see you right here. Oh yeah, it's a crate. Error is a crate. Um, I did a cargo ad. Probably like snuck it in there. Now, why are you yelling at me that I don't even have this file? Okay, let's just try running this. Cargo test. Okay, cool. That just worked. Restart Rust Analyzer. But okay, all these running running one test. Okay, so testing to see that this config loaded properly. So now we can see that our resolution is all set up for this. So that's loading the way we expect it to. All right. Okay, so with that, we want to now come back to our main. We want to config load. We're going to have to handle the errors here. So an unwrap is probably okay at this point, because if there is an error loading this config, nothing is going to work. And then we're going to do a let config equals. So we now have our config object, which means that we can now start creating our window object. So let's go ahead and bring in let it's use GGEZ comp. We want a window mode to go maximized and the resolution. So we want window mode. Equals window mode. We can get a default going here, and then from default, we want to load up dimensions. Will you not let me do that? I think it's like set the width to be config dot resolution x dot height config dot resolution y. You're so upset with me. No fields. Named width, found for struct, window mode, and a current script. Okay, so this is unhappy. Let's go ahead and load up our documentation here. So we're gonna do a cargo doc open. Let's build the documentation and like actually load this up and figure out what this window mode, like how it actually works. I vaguely remember it implementing default. But maybe it doesn't, and maybe it's not. Oh, maybe it's set with. Well, now it's running all this stuff, so it's not gonna get that like properly to me. Yeah, because like then we want like full screen and like a full screen type. So I need to let this documentation finish building, and then we can go check out like how to set how to actually create the window mode object. Okay, so what were you asking? How that string to stir is not an error. That was part of this. Which one? This one? Yeah. So if you put like if you give ooh, open up in here. Yeah. If you reference a string with capital S, it becomes a string slice, which is a stir. So that's how that ends up working for us. Now, yeah, let's go to here. We want to in GGEZ. Look how many crates that we already have inside of here. It's crazy. GGEZ, we want to pull in window mode. So window mode implements default. And those are the fields. Oh, dimensions is what we want. And that sets us width and height right there. Dimensions, and then we're gonna get a full size, full screen. So dimensions is what we want. It's gonna be dot dimensions. Then inside of here, we're gonna do a config dot. Now you're a config type, but do I need to pull in like the actual config type? Because you're not figuring this out, are you? This is gonna be resolution x config dot resolution y. Okay, so if I do that, right, you can't see that because they need to be public. Okay. There we go. Now you're happy. Hello, Danny. Are they pub? Yeah, that was my problem. They were not pub. You need to do some serious CSV parsing coming up real soon. You're gonna try to use Rust for that task. That sounds like a fun task. Okay. No need. Yeah, I figured it was no need, but like I couldn't see it. Well, it's because it wasn't public. That was my problem. All right, so we want to set the dimensions here. The other thing that we want to do is set the full screen type. So this is gonna be a full screen underscore type for this. So full screen type, and we need to pull in a full screen type. So full. We want to import you, and this is going to be, I think, true is what we found that works on this system. I'll need to this weekend. I'll probably purchase the Raspberry Pi and test it on my TV downstairs, and I'll see whether or not which version of this I really need. But okay, so full screen type. That will give us our window mode in our context match builder here. Nope. Wait. Close you. So before we do a dot build, we want to then do a window mode and pass it window mode like that. And so now when I run this, it should be full screen type. A Raspberry Pi 4, whatever the latest one is it 4 still the latest one, or is there now a 5? I haven't really looked at them for a long time. The keyboard version is pretty cool. Oh, wait, there's a keyboard version now? Am I close to the Denver Micro Center? It's not It's on the other side of Denver from me, but that should still be like fine. And here we go. Here is the game in all its like complete full screen glory. The keyboard one costs like $100. Um, Raspberry Pi 400 or something like that. I probably don't need the keyboard one. I'm hoping that we'll never need a keyboard plugged into it directly. So you live at Micro Center, you just go because you can. I haven't been in a long time because of pandemic. Um, but I do know like a lot of people that just essentially, as you said, just live there. Am I doing an arcade stick controller? I don't know if I'm gonna do an arcade stick controller or like an original NES style controller. One of those two. Um, I might do there is a Atari style controller for that, and because this game is simple enough, I just need like left, right, up, and down, and the one button to jump. That might be good enough for me, and it might be like really easy for him to do as long as I can get a long enough cable for it, so he can sit. He can like have the Raspberry Pi at the TV, and then the controller reaches all the way to his chair. That would be fine. The RPI 400 is a computer in a keyboard. Oh, cool. That sounds like something fun to sort of like play around with, but probably not what I need for this. I think that I can go with like just the original Raspberry Pi with a just a box, like a small box around it. All right, so we've got a window mode now, so we're good with that. Now, if I wanted to push this up, let's go ahead and make sure. Let's see. Should consider adding a default implementation for game state. Can I even do that? Can I just import that? Kind of like derive that? Would you work? Yeah, apparently that works. Um, you know what would be really good for this test? Instead of having to this read to string, like this really kind of like the test we have here really kind of sucks. Because like as I add things, we're gonna have to add in like what we want in the file, which is not exactly what I want here. So I don't know how I want to like properly test loading that unless I have a like a test file just for that, and that way I can like still configure things through the non-test file. So maybe let's create that. So we're gonna have a conf. This load config. We don't need this at all. I'm gonna go ahead and delete you. I created this as a folder with a mod in here because I might eventually move like this config struct out if it gets like complicated enough, and also I can like have maybe even eventually have this be separate sections. Like we have a resolution inside of config, so have structs within structs. Until then, I'm not going to worry about it right now. The tests are actually going to help out with that a lot. So I want to create a. Let's see, where is this? We have this config.json. I want to now duplicate this. Let's actually just copy you, create a new file, and we're going to do this test config.json. Paste you in. And inside of mod here, what this means is instead of hard coding this path, we're going to take in the config like the file. So file name, and this is going to be a string. So you become a file name, like that. You prefer flat over nested. In the past, used to create too many nested folders, which was a bad idea. That is good feedback. I will keep that in mind. Okay, so then in here, this is going to be a test config.json. So then you should still be fine. And that also means that in our main here, this will be config.json. Everything should still work. We can still cargo run this. And we should still be able to cargo test this. Perfect. And so then what I want to do is set up GitHub Actions. So we learned a bunch of this from, do I have GitHub Actions in our knowledge here? Let's see. I don't have like a GitHub or a GitHub Actions. Let's maybe do a new file. This could be like GitHub Actions.md. So we want for specifically like Rust stuff. The thing that we're looking for is to run the tests and to run the linters. Those are the three things: is run the test and run the linters. And I remember we have another file. We have a back to GitHub. Which is the one that we did? It was with Get the Streamer. So with you, do you have like the... actually see it here? Oh, cool. You can create workflows here. Oh, you know what? Okay, we just go to master. Here's GitHub workflows, Rust YAML. And so we just basically want to implement this. This is .github workflows, Rust.yaml. I can just apparently not do that. Let's draw this. So what is this? This is going to be .github/workflows. So inside of here, we want a folder .github, another folder workflows, and then inside of that, we want a folder called rust.yaml. Yes. And then we're going to put you in here. Okay, so name, Rust. So when we push to master branch, or do we do a pull request to the master branch, runs on Ubuntu latest. And that's fine because this is eventually going to go on to... I'll have to check to see if they have like a Raspbian. Raspbian is based on Ubuntu, right? Or is it based on Debian? Install the packages. It's based on Debian. Okay. I wonder if I can do like Debian latest, or if they only have Ubuntu. I'll have to go take a look at what their list is. Is this just Docker behind the scenes, so it should have Debian. Okay, so we install all these packages that we already verified we need. The actions cache is like, it's not been working for us. we check out the code. We bring in Clippy and Rust formats. So this is the jobs check. So we're going to check the formatting, run cargo format check. We're going to check Clippy. So run that. And then we're going to build it. So in this case, I don't think we need to build it, but we do need to test. So we're going to call this test. And we're just going to do cargo test. So if I save that, come back to get Kraken here. So in jungle, we have all of these files. So this is workflows, Rust YAML, log, toml, config. So this, and then minus all those other ones. You should test and still build. It's good practice. Okay, I can do that. Name is build run. Cargo build release mode. That way it like attempts to build in release mode. Because if we can do that, we're good to go. Okay, so that will be our check. Back to you, stage U. This is to main for right now. I think this is fine. Eventually I'm gonna want to like switch over to doing feature branches. And this is gonna be setting up basic game with config file. And let's go ahead and push this and see if we got that working. So I now see that we have this Rust branch here. Does it not run the first time I push that up? I now see you all. What's the condition to run? I'm trying to set it to a push to master branch. And we're on, wait a second. I forgot that this one I created with main. This one I created with main. Okay, so we are using the main branch for this repo. There we go. Like, so existing branches don't get updated to be like main instead of master, but because this is like a brand new repo, I just left that the default, which was main. But because I pulled this in from like existing code, I did need to remember to change that. So kind of important. All right, let's go ahead and see if this is running. There we go. So now we're running here. So cool. While this is going, let's go ahead and update our information here. So this is going to be the GitHub. Let's see. Create. I guess for direction actions, we need to create a directory called dot GitHub /workflows. The workflows will go inside as YAML files. Yesterday, you blindly changed master domain, and it didn't work because many actions were like Zola at master, which should not be replaced with Zola. Oh yeah, that could be a problem. So all right, with Rust, so this is going to be the rust.yaml file. I'm going to come into here. Now for this, what's a comment for a YAML file? Do any of you remember? Actually, wait, can I just try this? Okay, it's just hash. So want this required. This is the name that shows up in the GitHub Actions interface. Okay, so on when should this GitHub action run? I wonder if I can do like star for all branches. The environment. So what environment variables to use? It is possible to have secret environment variables. Let's see. Any defined here will be in main text. So. Okay. Jobs. All right. So obviously like, this is the main thing. So what do we want to run? And these are synchronous in order. Is that correct? It looks like they are. So what do we want to run sing in order? Okay, so this is going to be Docker based operating system to load. Windows and Mac are also available. So then like the steps for this, basically what commands, like what shell commands to run for this job. Name of the job to run and be anything. All right, so, and there we go with this. Am I missing something with this? Oh, here. Okay, so steps uses action. Okay, so this is predefined GitHub action that is available globally. So really, this is defining a custom shell command to run for this job. So like, for example, this one right here is check out the code from GitHub. Check out the code so that we can use it. Kind of required. This is supposed to cache the part like the install, but noticed it doesn't work too well right now. Maybe I'll just do this is supposed to cache the install because we're getting maybe someday it'll like suddenly start working a lot better for us. Okay, so then tool chain. This is install Rust and add features to Rust for later usage. Rust could always make it better on the cargo side. Yeah, and so like this theoretically, I don't have to do anything else. If Rust improves themselves, we're just going to get that improvement for free. Okay, so check formatting. And so the rest of these are all going to be the things that like the actual tests that I want to do here. Oh, and I think, okay, name of the job to run. Jobs aren't necessarily running in the same order. I don't remember. Okay, so I think this is as much documentation as I need right now. Sort of like get going with this. So there you are with that. For you, this all finished. Everything is happy. All right, so we've got an early test running. We've got GitHub Actions going, so a little bit of a CI/CD. We've got the CI part, not the CD. And then, so now basically every time we go and we create another feature, we're gonna make sure we add a test for that feature, and also, I guess like keep our documentation up to date too. I don't know if I need too much documentation for it, but GitHub Actions I think is going to be really important for it. All right, with that being done, let's go ahead and make sure that you're all up to date. I'm going to close all of you. So Jungle, you're up to date, and our knowledge wiki. Let's update new information about Rust and GitHub Actions. And we'll go ahead and push you up. So I have that that knowledge wiki. I should probably create like a chat command, sort of like go to that repository. But it is available here in this wiki format. So we can take a look that here is this Rust and GitHub Actions. So this is what we just created and put up there. So if you want to go check that out, I am starting to like try to, whenever I learn something, add it in here. So that way I don't have to like continuously relearn it over and over and over again. I can just reference this and copy and paste these in, which I think is going to be super helpful in like as we continue on. Will make us faster. So with that being said, it is after 8:30, which means I've got to go to work and do my entire day job thing. But thank you everybody for stopping by. Let's go ahead and see, is there anybody to um, raid today? Advertisements. So Lampy is doing some game dev. Looks like Unreal game dev. What technology is Lampy using? I don't think there's oh, C++ classes. Okay, that looks like C++. That's not what we want. Is there anybody on Shushok, by and Ronnie VV 55? Let's see. Is there anybody here? Oh, I need to like. I'm logged in as the wrong person. Keep on forgetting that I have my Twitch bot over here. So, oh, Begin Bot is streaming. Let's go ahead. So, what are you thinking? Begin Bot's doing Go, or Lampipe, who's doing game dev with Unreal, or nobody?